So we're definitely seeing some life come back into the crypto markets, and you have Bitcoin, which is on the verge of a breakout. So we have a whole lot that we have to look at in today's show. If we start off over here with the banter bubbles, well, you can see it's a sea of green with the majority of the coins definitely pushing towards the upside. And once again, if we go through to those trending coins, well, you can see on the daily time frame, at least, it's meme coins, right? The meme coins continue to still take the reign. So I do think it is something that we have to seriously consider. I know that many of you are still not, on that side of the at least spectrum. You're not ready to take that step. But in today's show, we're going to have a look at some coins, at least, that are still in a decent zone that haven't yet moved when it comes to the altcoin sector, as well as the meme coin sector. So maybe some of you feel that way because some of these coins have already gone up so much that, you don't want to chase the pump. You don't want to chase a 5,549% pump or a 3,266% pump, which is completely rational. But I'm going to show you the evidence today why the market looks set to absolutely explode. And I think that the time is coming very, very soon where we're going to move into a runaway market. And the reason why is got a lot to do with the S&P 500, right? This is typically what we see. The S&P 500 typically first leads into that runaway market, and then crypto tends to follow. Well, Bitcoin first and then crypto. We understand that there's a transition in moving into the full-on altcoin season. And if you look at this white line, which is running up and down the screen over here vertically, that's going to be the 5th of November, which is your election phase. And we've spoken about the significance of that, right? We've had a look at the significance of that presidential election phase and how that typically affects and impacts price action. And you can see tying this in with our 18.6-year cycle, well, there was the starting point over there, and we've had 1, 2, and 3 elections, this one being the 4th one that should lead to the final blow off top within that time period. So you're looking at that to occur between this white line and this white line over here, which gives you, give or take, about a 12-month period where everything should be rallying towards the upside. And we're seeing that again in the S&P 500 as well as in gold, right? So if we go through to the gold chart over here, breaking into all-time highs, but give or take, we're still going to be waiting for the S&P 500 to break down. And you can see the selling pressure that is coming in over the last couple of daily candles as shown over here. And this is my expectation, at least, is that price should start to stall. The DXY, which is your dollar index, should start to stall somewhere around this pink box over here, which I've marked off at about 103, right? So if you see the reversal point from there, that's like rocket fuel for the rest of the crypto market, where the market is already choosing to bid crypto and the S&P 500 despite the move up in the DXY. It just shows if you do get that breakdown in the DXY, it's going to be additional rocket fuel, pretty much moving crypto through the stratosphere. Something that's not doing too well, though, is going to be Tesla. We had a look at that last week, the hype coming into all the announcements for Tesla with that whole AI conference, and suggesting that that could potentially be a sell the news event. Buy the rumor, sell the news. And as it currently looks, well, that is the case, right? It's not over yet for the monthly candle, but if this candle does take out last month's low, you would have a full bearish engulfing candle. And then you have to look at a couple of further months of downside where you're going to find support somewhere around that $155 to $165 level, and that's where I'd probably be a buyer of Tesla. Now, if you just look at the gold chart, I've made some minor adjustments to at least the horizontal levels that we're looking at. I had the previous one down here. I've now moved it up. This is going to be your first line of support, your second line of support coming in at 2,583. So if there are dips on the gold trade, this is a long trade that we took ages ago. It is a swing long on Prime XBT. If we do get a pullback, well, this is going to be the level to hold. If you start to lose that level, you can close out the rest of the gold position. But as it currently stands, this has been a pretty enormous trade, right? For gold, you have to understand that this is highly leveraged. In some cases, 1 to 3,000 X longs are on these trades. So for 7.81% move on gold is absolutely enormous, right? And to fulfill the final target, we're still looking at about another 4% upside for gold. And if that happens, remember, crypto should also do well in that environment. So if you are looking to trade any of these things, well, it is on Prime XBT. You got S&P 500, gold, NASDAQ, a whole bunch of the different traditional finance stocks. Use the link in the description below because you can get a 20% sign-up deposit or 25% on the trading commissions if you don't already have an account, right? That's specific to you guys. If you use that link, it's something special that I arrange for all of you. Crypto, stocks, commodities, forex pairs, all in one, all in this one easy to use platform. Now, why is price moving up? Well, one reason is there's a little bit of a short squeeze taking place. I outlined this on Friday and said probably over the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to see a short squeeze. And we did see that. I did a Saturday show to update you. I showcased the massive short liquidity that was being taken over here. Shorts trying to step in front of a freight train essentially and getting squeezed out of those positions. And we've seen it again in the last 24 hours. That's over the course of Sunday into the Monday open now. 102.3 million. There it is, worth of shorts getting liquidated. And that's driving price towards the upside over there. So we'll keep an eye out on this. You can see the deltas as well starting to flip positive. Everything except for near sitting with negative deltas over there, meaning that people are still trying to short near. Maybe they haven't been squeezed yet, but now they're starting to flip long on, of course, Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, Pepe, as well as WIF, whereas over the course of the weekend, these were all negative, which was crazy, right? Already when there was a short squeeze and they were still negative trying to short it. So fear and greed moving now into the neutral territory at 48. It's a good sign that Bitcoin's sitting just under 10% away from all-time highs, yet the fear and greed is still only in the neutral territory. It shows you the sentiment shift, whereas a couple of months ago in March when Bitcoin was trading at those all-time highs, you can see where the fear and greed was. Well, we're sitting at 82, right? 82 for now that fear and greed to come all the way back down to 48, whilst price is almost at exactly the same level, is a good sign, right? It shows the sentiment shift and it means that there is more juice for the squeezing, which means you could see prices go up higher. Now, we do have to keep an eye out on the liquidity below, as we've already seen the short squeeze and most of the market are starting to flip long now. That liquidity is coming underneath at 61,800. That would be your short-term buying zone. If price does pull back into there, that's going to be a buy the dip zone for those of you who haven't filled your positions yet. You'll be waiting and looking for that environment. Now, we also need to be careful to see that the funding doesn't get overheated over here, because on some of the coins, you can see minor positive funding over there at one point. On this is on PopCat, it went to 132%. Now, when you see the majority of the market paying 100% or more to keep long positions open, this is a bit of a warning sign, right? That you could be meeting a major top within the market. So if I toggle the Bitcoin price on and off, that's going to be the white charts over there, the white line. You can see what happened the prior times, right? When the funding got incredibly aggressive, that's where you start to see your peaks. Well, it's still pretty flat, right? Most of the market is negative to flat on the funding, and they're pretty healthy at the time being, except for things like PopCat over there, which went up 132%, but it's already been flushed and come back down to normality. So we'll keep an eye out on that as the market trends do tend to unfold. Now, as this moves into positive and we get the yellows and the oranges once again, then we'll have to look as well to the YouTube views. And that's probably where you're going to see the YouTube views starting to break out once again. As you can currently see, this has just been downtrending over here, and the interest has been weaning off across the majority of the big crypto channels. A lot of these big creators haven't even been creating, and I guess they fall into the same trap as the retail, which is that if you look at the sentiment, it's at 48, it's in neutral. They consider price action to be relatively boring, despite the fact that we're so close to all-time highs. I've said that I think that it's important to, sit forward in your seat, pay attention, and be hyper-focused, because this is actually where you establish the best position. So just going back to this chart over here, you can see that pre the positive funding over here, where most people are paying between 50 and 100% to hold positions open on a day-to-day basis, you can see within that period over here, just before that, it was the same color, right? And this is where, if you're paying the most attention, you would have established strong positions and you would have got those big moves towards the upside, and then you could be profit taking into the rest of the market's greed. Well, is the market greedy right now? Not according to the fear and greed index. It's neutral, right? And just a couple of days ago, we were literally in fear. So a lot to have a look at over there. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart, which is the most important thing for the day. The SR flip is still unfolding, and I've showcased this so many times. You can go back to those prior videos. Even when we had this dip over here, I said your expectation should be, yes, there will be dips, but they're going to probably be bought up with prices closing up higher. And then the next month, you're going to see the same thing. But every month, you're just going to see continuation of higher and higher prices. And that's exactly what we're seeing over here. So far, it's looking much more likely that this is flipping into major support over here as opposed to deviating and turning this into resistance. The bullish demand is present and prices are moving up higher, and we're seeing the real appetite for risk come back, especially from some of the early retail, right? Not the late retail, but the early retail are seeking risk, looking for, low cap meme coins, right? That's what the narrative was over the course of the weekend. We'll touch on that in a moment as well. Some of you may be wondering, when will the true tech coins start to rally? Well, an important thing that I want to remind you is if your coin hasn't rallied yet, it might be a little bit of a warning sign, right? That's a red flag. It's a warning sign. Please go and look at any of the charts, really. I mean, let's go over here. This is what I want you to do. If your coin's not rallying, go through to one of the coins, whatever the coin may be. Give me a coin that's not rallying. Okay, let's look at, I'll wait for a few of these to come through. Give me a coin that has not yet rallied. I'm waiting, guys. Drop it in the comment section over there. We'll just wait for the feed to catch up. Okay, while we wait, I'm going to have a look at something. Okay, let's look at GMX. That's a good option. Let's see GMX. So go through over here. It's not always going to be the case, but let's just double check, right? GMX. What you want to do is go through to the coin. You can see over here. Now we can have a look at GMX, right? What is the total supply? Okay, and the circulating supply. It's about the same, right? So most of the coins are unlocked. So that one is fine. Let's go to another one. Let's go to, let's see. I want to go to Mantra. Mantra is a good example. I'm going to use Mantra, and then I'm going to use Ondo as an example. If you go here as well and you have a look at this, what is the total supply? 888 million. What is the circulating supply? 850 million. So give or take, there's about 33 million coins still not in circulation. That means that VCs may hold those coins that bought them at a much earlier price, and those are eventually going to be unlocked onto the market. And then there'll be a little bit of sell pressure, but this is not a big difference, right? It's not a massive amount. Let's go to another one like Ondo, right? If we go to Ondo over here, let's see the difference on Ondo. We know that Ondo are doing a whole lot of unlocks. And if you look at the total supply, have a look at this one, right? 10 billion is the total supply. What is the circulating supply? Well, you have 1.4 billion. That means 14% of the tokens are in circulation, which probably means this coin is going to struggle to ever really rally hard against something like Mantra, just as a comparison. And the reason why is simply put because there's a lot of coins that are not yet in circulation that are probably locked, but there will be unlocks. And as those unlocks come to the VCs who got in at much earlier price points, of course, they're immediately going to take profit. And consequently, that's where you see these types of charts just bleed out. Now, you need to go and look at all your various different charts to see what the story is over there. It's fine, by the way, if the total supply doesn't meet the exact circulating supply, but you typically don't really want to be buying into something that has 90% of the coins which are still not in circulation and are going to be unlocked onto the market. If it's 5%, even 20%, it's probably okay. That coin can still rally. But when you're talking about 90%, the odds are very, very stacked against you. So please go and do that exercise, all of you, if you're wondering. Now, let's go and have a look at some of the other coins, right? Let's have a look at MOG. Let's quickly go to MOG. This is one of the coins that I'm pretty bullish on for the long term. And what we'll see over here is total supply, however much that is. I think it's like 390 billion tokens or something. Circulating supply, exact same number, right? Which means that 100% of those tokens are unlocked, which of course means that there's less selling pressure, because if people wanted to take profits on this, they would have already done so. So please do keep an eye on that. Vitally, vitally important when you go about your trading missions and as you're looking to make profit in the market. Okay, Bitcoin looking strong, low volatility over here. You can see the BBWP is completely reset, and ultimately we are still waiting for price to break out from those levels. You have Bitcoin over here above the 21 weekly exponential moving average with a beautiful last week candle close, looking strong for continuation. We still need to take out these prior highs, which is going to be, as you can see, 65,830. Get and hold above that level and you should see continuation and the eventual breakout of this massive bull flag, also known as the handle part of the big cup and handle that we have on the monthly scale, which you can see over here. And once that happens, it's probably going to be too late to start to look for allocation into the market. You're going to see the market run pretty aggressively from that point onwards. Now, if you look over here, last week we showcased the importance of price coming back into the 50% level and holding it. We outlined that as a high probability zone for price action to bounce and hold. And that's exactly what we saw. We said, if you're lucky, you'll get price action to come down into the golden pocket, which was coming in at that $57,500 level. This week, those levels are much less likely and probably starting to move off the table. What you can target, though, is this big wick over here. You can target somewhere around the 50% level. If you're very lucky now, you might get a sweep back down into $60,000, and that becomes the next opportunity. And we spoke about that a lot last week, about how on each of these dips over here, people kept calling for lower and lower prices, right? So when price came into this level over here, they were waiting for $38,000 to $40,000. When price came into this level over here, they were waiting for $40,000 to $42,000. That never came, right? Now when price came into here, they're waiting for what? $48,000, sweeping back below 50. Never came, right? Never came. This is how the runaway bull market does start to form and prices start to move higher and higher. So as it currently stands, we are exactly on target and exactly where you want to see price action at this point within the cycle. We haven't even reached to the point where in the prior cycles, things start to move parabolic, which is where your altcoin season does start to take place. But that could come very, very soon because, again, we have the election phase, which is coming on the white line over here on the 5th of November. And everything is playing out exactly according to plan, exactly what we're looking at. And now we just have to sit on our hands and wait for price to break out to those new highs. So I hope your positions are established. As we wait for price to clear some of these highs, remember, we're in a Wyckoff accumulation schematic, and we're waiting for a strong bullish move that breaks through the high volume resistance, starting the markup, right? So let's quickly have a look at this chart over here, and let's quickly put on our volume. There it is. If we look at this trading range, let's just quickly mark out the exact trading range for this volume profile, and there it is. Where do we break out of or break above the high volume zone? Well, you can see the point of control right now for Bitcoin as it currently stands is written in the gray part of the chart over here, 62,992. Where's price right now? Price right now is at $64,141, which means you're starting to flip that high volume area into support, right? We got another couple of bars to break above. I said if you start to take out the previous highs that we recently printed, that came on the 28th of September, get above those highs over there, which is about 66K. As soon as you're above $66,000, you've flipped above that high volume area, above the point of control. And then we confirming the transition from phase D into phase E, which is where your markup phase begins, right? That's this phase over here, right? So you can expect, where are we now? We're somewhere here. We're at the LPS. We're about to transition into the SOS, which is breaking above the top side of the trading range. That's your sign of strength. And that is where the full big breakout begins and the runaway market takes place. So you're looking and targeting this yellow zone over here. You're above your previous week's low. You're above your previous week's mid-range or month's mid-range. You're above the 50% level that we hit now. And now you're starting to look to take out some of these key levels above. And that probably, I still have a question mark over here. The reason I have a question mark on the high low is because we can only fully confirm that when you get back above the 66K level, taking out this high. I would say 85% chance that's going to be confirmed as the high low. 85% chance this is the high low. We're going to break out, and you're going to see that over the course of either this week or next week. Remember, seasonally, we're looking at the third week of October, somewhere around the 21st to 23rd of October, for prices to break out to new highs in the month of October. And we're also awaiting the bull moon, which is coming up very, very soon, right? On Wednesday this week, we have the new bull moon. That's 48 hours away, give or take. And we're looking at price to probably break this downsloping trend line. So everything's looking really good. We spoke about this last week as well, where we said, watch as price gets capped, right? Between the 200 EMA and the 200 MA, bounces once or twice, and then absolutely explodes through that level. That's exactly what we're getting, right? We're getting price breaking out through that level right now and lining up for Wednesday. It's looking really good for continuation to breach that downsloping trend line. And therefore, yes, it's looking bullish, right? It's looking very, very bullish, as MS says over there, which means we have to look to the altcoins as well, because we know when Bitcoin breaks out in a big way and goes into price discovery, we're looking for Bitcoin dominance top at some point soon. And that's where your altcoin sector does phenomenally well. Now, if you look at the Whale Room Discord, well, we have our traders absolutely crushing it. Chris over here getting a massive move on GME, right? 52% up trade over there. Very good. That's without leverage, right? Big trade over there. We have Farouk as well looking at an amazing trade over here, 146% up. That is on Orderly. And then we have Brett as well with the start of the breakout. That's one that I want to look at today. As the title suggests, I'm buying these 50x crypto portfolio gems right now, and I've been loading up. I'm going to outline some of those coins to you today, some of the top picks that I have. So 557% up already on this Brett trade, getting literally the pico bottom over there for the breakout trade. So if you're not already in Whale Room, guys, please jump into Whale Room while the opportunity is still there. This is an early warning. Usually people don't warn for these types of things, but the pricing absolutely 100% will be going up as of the 1st of November. The pricing is going to go up. If you join now, and we have to make it crystal clear, because some people came in and messaged us. They said that, Kyle said that you'll get like a lifetime membership. That's not what we said. If you join now, that's crazy. That's not how this works. What we said is that the current price you'll be locked in at as long as you don't leave. So as long as you join now and you remain in the Discord, you'll continue to pay that price even when the price increase occurs, right? So I hope that does bring some clarity. Now, total 3 over here, you can see also looking to start to break out over here. We're waiting for this to continue, and we have higher lows in the making. All of that's looking good. Let's double check others also looking strong, just showing the risk appetite. If you look at these compared to total 2, well, it still looks better than total 2. Total 2 hasn't even broken its trend line yet over there. Let's just quickly throw that in. You can see total 2 still struggling at that trend, waiting to break out, whereas others in total 3 have already broken because the market knows that that's where the top gains are going to be found. So Bitcoin dominance, very near to the top, but not confirmed yet. ETH BTC, ETH USD on the right-hand side, kind of just struggling along over here, attempting to reaccumulate and also looking for some sort of a bottom on ETH BTC on the left-hand side. Now, let's quickly go to this. I've just joined the World Series of Trading today. You can see one of our Whale Room traders, Chris, made it into the top 10 over there. So there's his portfolio over there. I've just joined. I'm a little bit annoyed because I put in $10,000 and I don't really take well to being called a middleweight, but these guys labeled me a middleweight. So there it is. You guys know the directional bias that I'm going for this competition. Up only Kyledoops. That is the name of my account, and they labeled me a middleweight despite putting in a $10,000 account size. So we'll begin trading that very soon. If you want to join along and jump into the Crypto Banter team, there is still time. There's still time to join into the Crypto Banter team. Just go through to the link in the description below. It's literally pinned to the top over there. Also, you'll need to sign up to ByBit. If you haven't already, you get a $30,000 sign-up bonus when you use that link. And then keep in mind what the prize pool is, right? $10 million. So if you participate in the team, even if you don't win, you could still potentially share in that $10 million profits, right? That will be split amongst the various different team members should the team win. So let's see how this goes. I haven't yet taken a trade. I literally just set the whole count up right before the show. So stay tuned for that. We'll definitely be looking for some trade opportunities over there. All right, now let's get into the altcoin sector. So on a serious note, I've been pretty crystal clear. I do believe the meme coin sector will provide the best returns, but it's not the only thing that we'll talk about because I know that there is still an appetite for other coins. So we'll have a look at some of those, but let's just get the portfolio things out of the way. If I had to pick 3 coins, this is a tough choice, right? I dropped this in Whale Room this morning. If I had to pick 3 coins in the meme coin sector to hold as relatively decent risk to reward, not taking on too much risk, but still participating on massive upside. And 50x potential is still a possibility. It depends how crazy this cycle does actually get. But if we see what we saw in 2017 and 2020, this is actually not even an exaggeration. It might be a stretch at 50x, but it's still a possibility. I think, 20 to 30x is a reality. Now, the way that I'd look at this is I'm focusing on, something on ETH, something on Solana, and something on Base. So the ETH and the Base ones are pretty much set. So let's go through. Let's go to ETH, right? which would be the one meme coin that I'm buying on ETH. And remember, this is ultimately a higher beta play. The reason that you buy this is because it's a higher beta play as a leveraged bet on Ethereum. So if Ethereum bottoms and starts to pump towards the upside, I found this to be the best risk to reward trade that there is, and that is MOG. I think that MOG will be one of the top coins for the cycle. I think MOG could be a Shiba Inu of this cycle. What we saw Shiba Inu and what we saw, some of those other Dogecoin cycles do. I think that's what MOG could potentially do. I think MOG will outperform Pepe from current price to all-time high. So MOG has been one of the top picks. Now, it's a given that, of course, we didn't just add over here. We did add at the bottom of the range over here and all the way on the way up like that, right? On the higher lows. Now, I would still be willing to buy a little bit over here, especially if Bitcoin is going to break out. I do think that this will push straight to new all-time highs. And then you can target one of the fib extensions, which, on this could easily move it up about 100% before you do get a pullback. Then you can do some profit taking. And then on the next dip, reallocate. So that would be my bet if I had to bet pretty big on a meme coin that's a leverage play on ETH. Now, if we go through to base, pretty easy bet, right? It's Brett. There it is. We know I've been pretty outspoken about this. It's Brett. We're starting to see the breakout on Brett right now as it's grinding into this region. We said it's just a matter of time before Brett does start to push towards the upside. And that's exactly what we're getting, right? So mid-range is going to present a little bit of resistance coming in over here at 13 cents. And thereafter, we're looking towards the top side at 18. That's going to be the next area of resistance. And then once we get above that, it is price discovery. Now, Solana was a very, very tough choice. And I actually haven't completely made up my mind. Which coins would I pick on Solana? Giga is one, right? So if we look at Giga Chad, Giga's one. It's done phenomenally well. We entered all the way at the bottom over here on this trade alone. We're still up 240%. WIF is another blue chip opportunity, but whether it's going to get the same gains as something like Giga, I'm not sure, right? Ponky is another option. This is one that we've been allocating all the way at the bottom of the range over here, getting our positions in. We're approaching mid-range right now. I do think, again, this will push to new all-time highs. We have a couple of other ones. Let's go to Bonk. Bonk is another one to look at over there, waiting to break out from the falling wedge formation, consolidating at these current levels, and we're looking at a massive breakout over there as well. What else do we have? We have Popcat, of course. We can't forget Popcat. Also, we allocated all the way from the bottom over here. This has definitely been one of our top performers, 356% move since the original entries over there. So this one's looking really good. And the answer is, I don't know when it comes to Solana. That's the truth, guys. I don't know which one to pick over here because it's very narrative driven. Solana's got a lot of liquidity and it's very cheap and easy to move in and out. So what I've opted for is all of those, right? I've taken, as my main picks, I've taken the allocation that I would have put into, for example, into MOG or into Brett to have the bet on Solana. And I put it into Popcat, Giga Chad. I put it into WIF. I put it into, what were the other ones that we gave? Bonk, and what was the last one? Do we have one more over there? I think I've labeled all of those. Yeah, so those are the picks. Those are the picks when it comes to the Solana meme coins for me personally. And now we can go into the other stuff, right? Of course, I do still have other coins over here. And we've been allocating more also towards the meme coin sector. If any of you jump into the DGen dive, I should probably mention that right now. Over the course of the weekend, we were playing the emoji cycle, right? Now, some of these have done phenomenally well. It seems like the best performers so far is Dog. We have Dog, we have Cat, we have Whale, we have the Eggplant, we have Eyes, and then we have over here the Clown, right? So the best pick so far has been the Dog, right? We can actually have a look at that and we can go through to Dog. There it is. Let's click on Dog, sitting above a $10 million market cap. So really, really strong over there. Whether this is going to continue, absolutely no one knows. I have absolutely no clue how much attention this will gain. We know that the Elon Musk parody account, which is one of the biggest, picked up on the narrative as well over the course of the weekend and started to retweet. So that generates a little bit of hype. But anyway, let's have a look at some of the layer ones just to see the overall health of the crypto market. Let's have a look at Solana. Solana is still looking good. Let's watch as price comes into 160. The levels remain the same. We want to see this flip above 160 over there. Casper at a very, very good zone over here. if it can deviate and get back above 14 cents, and more specifically, if it can take out that 14.80, then you should see Casper having confirmed a low over here, a major low, and then continuation onwards and upwards. Okay, TON still coming down, still waiting for this level to be hit over here. It might spike up one more time and then eventually come back down. I think 450 is the area of interest if you're looking for a buy on SUI. On TON. You have SUI over here already closing new candles at all-time highs. Dips are for buying. This is probably going to continue up. I wouldn't chase this, right? I definitely wouldn't chase this price action right now. I'd wait for a bit of a pullback. We allocated all the way down here when we labeled this the final shakeout, right? The deviation, the break back into the range. And this has been one of the top picks when it comes to a layer one. So let's quickly see how far is this move so far. Well, similar to some of those meme coins, right? 280 to 300% moves over there. Atom, how's Atom doing? Okay, still struggling, right? This is an example of a struggling coin. I don't know what the circulating supply looks like. Let's have a look. Let's do our little test over here to just see. Are there a lot of token unlocks? What is the actual problem over here? Why does it keep going down? So we have total supply and circulating supply. It seems like the majority of the tokens have been released. So this is just a lack of interest, I guess. Injective, okay, still holding up over there. That's looking good. You want to see continuation very, very soon. For most of these coins this week, you are going to want to see this confirm as a major high-low, and you want to see the market break out and take out the rest of these highs over here. Near, same thing, right? Holding up over here. I'm still holding my near position. I know I spoke about it in one of the Whale Room live sessions where I said I may cut near if it does start to come down anymore. It hasn't, so I didn't cut any positions. I still do hold that, right? Okay, drop in the comment section. What else do you guys want? Let me know over there. I see there's a request for I think it's veracity, right? Let's just have a look at this one over here. Do I have a chart already done? Yep, here we have it. Let's have a look. We haven't looked at this for a while. Is there any sort of recovery on this? And the answer is no, right? So a lot of these coins, guys, I've spoken about this a lot. There's such a thing as opportunity cost, right? You can buy it over here. You can buy the exact bottom. But if there's no momentum, you're going to take a major cost in terms of opportunity where you could have put the money elsewhere and got bigger moves. This chart has no momentum right now. It's not to say it won't change, but right now there's no momentum. Okay, I see a lot of you are still interested in the meme coins, right? 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, Illuvium, etc. We can look at them, but I should probably do a show with Hustle again. We've been going through things with him once a month, so we can have a look at some of these sectors over here. There is Naka, pretty much holding at the bottom of the range. You can just see a lack of interest, right? We'll go through the gaming meta NFTs, all the way at the bottom of the range for Blur. Okay, terrible, right? UOS also terrible. Soul, this is Phantasma, terrible. We have Mana, terrible, also looks dead. Illuvium, all the way at the bottom of the range, it also looks dead. It might recover eventually, right? Understand that a lot of these coins only put in their biggest moves towards the end of the cycle, the last 3 to 6 months. Sandbox, absolutely terrible. Gala looks terrible. It is at the bottom of the range. I mean, we'll give it that. But again, the opportunity cost, how long is it going to stay here before you do get a proper move towards the upside? Like, let's say we're talking about a move from here to here, 200% move, but we've seen the momentum behind the meme coins and we got into those positions for those 200 to 300% moves even before, something like this plays out. So games for a living, also terrible, right? Terrible over there. ApeCoin, had a bit of a falling wedge formation over here. It might be putting in high lows, but again, it's the opportunity cost over here. If it can start to break out, targets are 134, and then after that, 211. Personally, I don't like to, pay through opportunity costs. I would rather just be in something else that has momentum, even Bitcoin, right? I'd rather hold Bitcoin, less risk and more opportunity over there. Okay, Monkey Ball look bad. AXS looks bad. Okay, Vulcan Forge also right at the bottom of the range over here. Maybe if it gets a spike up, when this one moves, it does move quick. But as it currently stands, also at the bottom over there. Gamey, terrible, right? Atlas, also terrible. IMX, nah, it's got no momentum, but it's okay because it broke out. It came back, it back tested the top side of the range. So it's probably one of the better ones over here, but it doesn't look great. It's just simply holding up at that level, right? So watch, let's just clean this up a little bit over here. If this is back testing, holding this as support and then it can shoot up, then it'll be looking okay. Super, this has been one of the outliers, looking good, breaking, holding above the top side of the range over there. We spoke about this ages ago in one of the shows where we said, long the bottom of the range, short the top, really long the bottom. And if it breaks and holds above, then you have a long trade opportunity. So super is one of the outliers over there. 𝗕𝗫𝗙𝗙, also not looking good. Prime, potential ascending triangle that's forming over here. Based on the breakout, you would have wanted to see it hold the top side over there. It didn't. Now watch to this trend line over here at about 745. If it can hold that as a high low, it might look okay. Cool. What else have we got? What else have we got, guys? Drop them in the comment section, and then I'll make sure to pull those up. We can also have a look at some of the other more degen coins over here. Okay, so specifically, let me just go through to these. So I've been allocating today into 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 is one of them, right? One of the meme coins on Sol. Just small positions, probably about 1% of my portfolio allocation into 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 over here, floating up with high lows. If we get a bit of a deeper pullback, I'll buy it. But I know when the retail interest comes back, these have big communities. Look at that, almost 35,000 holders over there. We've already taken the lock-in trade. This one's doing phenomenally well, absolutely crushing it on lock-in. Let's just see, is that going to load up? 1 second, let me click it again. Okay, lock-in. Very, very good over here. Big move. We took it from the bottom of the range low all the way to the top over there. The other one that I want to have a look at is 𝗲𝗲, right? 𝗲𝗲, I also started to allocate a bit into 𝗲𝗲. So let's have a look. 𝗲𝗲 all the way at the bottom of the range. 31,820 holders over there. And I would say, this is like buying near the bottom. So I think decent risk to reward over here. Also, only a 1% allocation. So I'm going to be holding this. Let's see what happens next. If the market does break out, the speculation is that all of these memes are going to absolutely fly. I'll quickly look through the rest of the list to see what else we have over here, which needs to be mentioned. Let's just scan through. All right. Okay, Giga, we've crushed it on that one. That one's already doing good. Let's see. Okay, Mumu, I have a position in Mumu, still waiting. 𝗓𝗏𝗡, recovering. 𝗕𝗬𝗓𝗓, recovering. Degen, this is on base. We're still waiting for these ones to pick up. I think we've mentioned most of those, right? Again, guys, if you want these coins, I don't think I have sound to play this right now, but this was absolutely crazy. People are buying audio memes now. They're even buying audio memes on a site called Gas Pump. This is dropped in the whale room over the course of the weekend. Absolutely wild, right? So I don't know what's happening to the space, guys, but please jump into whale room if you do want to learn more, if you want to DJ with us. I'll see all of you on the next one. Have a great day, guys, and jump into World Series of Trading. Cheers for now.